Blog Talk Radio.
The Book of Enoch, chapter 10, starting at the first verse. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again the Most High said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is Dudiel, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see the light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into fire, and heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish, through all the secrets that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Father, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. We read that again. Send them one against another, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. And no request that they their fathers make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Most High said unto Michael, Go and bind Semyaza and his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain each other, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobates and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all evil from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. Let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth, and the joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live until they beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be covered in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees, and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it, and the vines which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and from all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from all the earth. all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment. And I will never again send upon it from generation to generation forever. Peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. Peace be unto you. This is your brother Elder Youngman, Brother DL. And the name of tonight's message is Let Them Fight. Let them fight.
It has all gone too far. All of it. Joe Geneva today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot. A 20-something tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions. This has to stop. We need you to step up, and if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some. Death threats, physical threats, intimidation. It's too much. It's not right. They've lost the moral high ground to claim that it is. I don't have all the best words to do this because I'm angry. It has to stop. This is elections. This is the backbone of democracy, and all of you who have not said a damn word are complicit in this.
So, brothers and sisters, you might have noticed, focusing in on the judgments that are unfolding here on the earth and within Mystery Babylon. I want to focus in today on specifically the red horse, the taking of peace from the people. And, again, we're not talking about new revelation. We're just talking about validation of things that we already know that are in our face, things that should be kind of sticking out to us. So I want you to take notice of a lot of this stuff that's going on in the news, where I guess it was spawned by the election, and talk about Mystery Babylon's politics and how that is the witchcraft of division. Division is like kindling wood to conflict and the taking away of peace. But if there's something that something that stuck out to me is not so much the race hate. We knew that was coming, but have you taken notice of how fiercely, how fearsome these Gentiles get when they go into conflict against each other? How the Trumpers hate the libs and how they want to kill libs and all this sort of stuff, and how they really don't understand the ticking time bomb that they're scratching at when you start talking about these Antifas, these anti-fascists, and the left, the radical left, as the conservative Trumpers call it. If you noticed just how crazy they get when they're in arguments or conflicts with one another, it really, that is really the focus of this message and why it is we need to let them fight. Okay,
if you follow on the Facebook page, every one of these examples of, these white folks going at each other and, losing it on each other, just getting physical with one another, beyond words. They can't even speak. They just have to yell and scream, as they express that hate towards one another. And this reading of scripture from the book of Enoch describes exactly what the root of that hatred they have for one another, what it comes from. Gabriel's curse, the Messiah was very clear with us that in the end, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the time of the end. And the book of Enoch is very clear about the time. There was a book in there called the Book of Noah, a section in the book of Enoch that was specifically used to describe the time as it was, when Noah was on the earth. So Gabriel's curse, if you look at the reading, each of the Father's faithful archangels were given an assignment. Michael was sent down here to deal with COFAH. Each one of these chiefs of the fallen, the ones that came down here and put their seed into women and defiled themselves, the Father dispatched 4 of his faithful angels down here to deal with the chiefs of those fallen angels. So the assignment that was given specifically to Gabriel. Now again, when we think about Gabriel described in the canon, he's always the messenger, the bringer of good news to the earth. He's always portrayed as kind of he's not portrayed as a deliverer of judgment, but in this reading, it is made very clear that he is a powerful archangel, and he is the one that delivered the judgment against the giants, against the Nephilim, against the children of these fallen angels and these witches, these indigenous women that became the wives of these fallen angels and produced these giants. So when he sent Gabriel down, and the reading on this gets a little rough depending on the translation that you're reading, he said to go down and deal with the reprobates and the bastards. Put a curse on them so that they would destroy themselves in battle. So brothers and sisters, look, as scripture goes, as curses go, that's pretty cold. He didn't just come down here and, throw them in some chains or wipe them off the earth or anything like that. No. Our Father said he put a curse on them that they would fight one another in battle and destroy each other. Brothers and sisters, that's cold. See, look, again, I don't think y'all really know the Most High, and I really don't think people really appreciate the gravity of how much our Father does not like this, abomination that's gone on in the earth. He said that he wanted their children to destroy themselves in their viewing, in the viewing of the fallen angels. He wanted their children that they loved, that they violated their heavenly commandments to create. He didn't just want that wipe clean. He wanted them to destroy one another in battle. So, if we look, back in Genesis in the 6th chapter, it said that there would be giants in the earth during those days, and then after that, you got to keep reading. You got to read it all. So there were giants in the earth during those days, and after that. So, who do you think these white folks are that you're dealing with down here. See, these are not indigenous people. These people are not indigenous to the earth. These people come from a seed of fire. That's why, these these Nordic gods and Vikings and all this sort of stuff, and people that ascribe, these Aryans and all of that sort of stuff, when they die, they want to be put into fire because they want to be returned to their essence. They understand who they are. There's no confusion amongst those, that claim that heritage. They've educated themselves on who they are. There's a lot of folks out there wandering around don't really know it. There's white folks don't really understand it, and then there's also a lot of us don't really understand that these folks come from a different seed. That's why you got to regard them differently. Okay, but these are the children of 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 the angels. So that seed still has that curse that Gabriel placed on it. So that's why, even when there were not dark-skinned indigenous people around, you still got stuff going on like in England and Ireland. You still got, they war within themselves. They cannot have any peace. That's why, even in this political structure, Republicans and Democrats can't really get together to get anything done that doesn't involve, keeping their ability to keep the rest of the world under their boot. Anything else, they fight. Julius Caesar, they conquered the world, right? Nobody's giving them any trouble. They fight within themselves. They find a reason to be in conflict. That's a part of that curse that Gabriel came down here and he put on them. Now that the 400 years has elapsed, what you're going to see is they're going to they are returning to that primal nature. They're returning to that, degraded state, that animalistic state. And you see that in 45, and you see that in his supporters, where, it's just blatant. Look, we want our way. Now, you are going to have to stop us from taking our way from you. We want the election overturned. We said we were going to let the people decide. Well, screw the people. We want power, and we're going to do everything that we can to maintain that power. Now, a lot of people are turning their head to that. A lot of people are saying, well, January 21st is automatic. It's the law. But brothers and sisters, the message Angry White Men describes a desperate white man. Describes a white man that has seen and has accepted the fact that he's in decline. You got to look at a lot of these quote-unquote Republican senators that support all of this nonsense that 45 is doing. Look at their age. And again, if it's not apparent that, these old white men that have ruled this place all this time and gotten together and taken note of the fact that the demographics has changed, taking note of the fact that their policies are not popular, taking note of the fact that their own children, don't support them in, the ways that they've gone about, establishing the rulership in this world. So there's a war that's going on. The father's taking a sword to their houses, just like he took a sword to ours. This is the judgment. This is a part of what the end of 400 years looks like, right? So the reason that, one of the reasons, we, other than just being told and not being stiff-necked about being told to come out and leave these people to their judgment and not be a part of it, that should be enough. But one validation of that is the fact that if you in the way when one of these white folks is going after another one of them, you're going to get yourself tore up in the middle. Look, 400 years is up. So all of the spiritual bounds that were on these people, all of the the angels that were holding back the winds off of the earth, all that's going away, brothers and sisters. They're going to revert back to who they were when they were, fighting amongst themselves, eating mankind, all of the things that were described in the scriptures that the giants did. So our Father, through the Word, through the ministers that have been sent here to warn us about what was going on in the earth, telling us to come out, this is yet another reason. And if you don't understand what you're seeing, you got to go back. You got to dig for this stuff, right? The Book of Enoch is very clear that this Gentile man has a curse on him. We've seen it all this time. It just seems like, they don't like peace. They can't be at peace. You got a neighbor that's one of these unredeemed, these Gentiles that are not born again, and he always just seems to want to be in some sort of mischief, always wants to be in some sort of conflict, just does stuff just to take peace away from you if you let him. That's a part of this curse that Gabriel placed upon them. And you and me and anybody that belongs to the Most High needs to just back up and come on up out of that, because of the fact that this judgment, what they're going through, the destruction of this kingdom, that's supposed to be all theirs. That ain't supposed to have anything to do with us, to the extent that we're there among them. Now, nobody's saying that it's not going to be a change. Nobody's saying that you don't have to, you're not going to be able to get through this without some sort of preparation or any of that sort of thing. That's not what's going on. But you need to understand that what's going on in the hearts of these Gentiles is war, is blood. You need to believe what you see. When Donald Trump freaks out on TV and he starts raging and carrying on, you got to understand the pale horse still has a hold of him, because COVID, that thing talks to you. If you don't have any sort of spiritual grounding, you're gonna start. They gonna start getting voices, and all of them around him are hearing these voices, these spirits speaking to them about what's gonna happen to them. And there's a lot of fear that's involved. It's really like having a caged animal. And, folks don't really realize how far, these people are capable of pushing this thing. He will do a military coup if there's an avenue for it. And, again, tyranny is not as big as anarchy. And we haven't even seen anarchy start up yet. So, brothers and sisters, again, we need to let them fight. And those of us that you see that can't let them fight, you need to get away from them too, because they're going to be pulled into what's about to happen amongst these Gentiles. So, again, this is just repetition at this point. We need to self-analyze and pray without ceasing. Pray that the Father keeps our minds, keeps us out of, this thing where we feel like we have a stake in this somehow. And brothers and sisters, really, if you want to be truthful with yourself, we really had a stake in this thing for the last 400 years. So why do you think that that's going to change now? And even if it does change materially, why would they do that? Why would they be so intent on getting us into the whole system? You need to look, brothers and sisters. one of the articles that that I found online, was it wasn't shocking, but it is kind of shocking. Your vote, if you participate in the election, if you cast a ballot in the election, who you voted for, that's kept in the strictest of silence. I mean, in the strictest of confidence, right? They won't tell that. They won't put you on blast about who you voted for. But what is public knowledge is whether or not you do actually vote. So again, the most dangerous place for any one of us to be is outside of the system. And you got to know that they took note of how many of us did not participate in this year's election. So brothers and sisters, again, let them fight. This is, as Dick Gregory pointed out, taking in or picking the lesser of two evils. You have to be a little evil yourself in order to do that. So, you got to self-analyze. So, brothers and sisters, again, let them fight. And for those that are in your circles that you see that can't let them fight, they have to insert themselves into that fight. Just know you need to have some separation there. Because ultimately, this thing is going to go hot if it hasn't already. So, again, our place is nowhere near what they're doing. Nowhere near trying to seize control of this place or to take anything from it. What we're called to do is to get as far away from this bad boy as we can as it explodes. Now, again, I know that's to scale. To some of us, we can't physically get up and move. You still need to be all about Revelation 18:4 and who's in your circle, who you have in your house, who knows what's in your house, who knows about the things that you set aside for preparation. We need to do everything that we can and allow our Father to do the rest. But the ultimate message is to understand that these folks are in conflict with themselves because they're under a curse. And you don't want to be partakers in the curse. Revelation 18:4 tells us, be not partaker of the curses that Mystery Babylon is under. Why? At Revelation 18:6, because double is coming to Mystery Babylon. And for any of us that are out there among them, that our heart is caught up in the same things that their hearts are caught up in, that are in the places where they're going into conflict, where you're out protesting and all this type of stuff, you need to realize you're out from under the cover of the Most High. You're going to wind up with COVID, or you're going to wind up dead or injured, messing around with these people because they're under judgment. And the brunt of their judgment, the brunt of the violence that you're going to see is going to come from inside of them. One Gentile, that I spoke to, this dude that owns Painting Shop. This is back when I was with the cell phone company, and they had one of their little team builders who went and painted pictures. And dude was really upfront about talking about this conflict that was coming. A lot of folks don't even put that in their polite conversation, but he talked very openly about it. And the conversation sticks out to me because we were talking about things he set aside, and like, so you got yourself a bunch of guns. He's like, nope, I got like 2 guns. I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of money on guns. And I was like, really? Because that's not the common thing amongst these Gentiles. They love their guns. This dude said, and it made a lot of sense. It's like, man, when this thing goes hot, these people are gonna kill so much. They're gonna kill. They're gonna be so hard on one another initially. It's gonna be really bad for like a week, And I mean, you'll be able to go outside and get as many guns as you want because they will have killed that many of themselves. And brothers and sisters, that's exactly right. Whether he knows it or not, he knows the nature that's on the inside of him. He knows his people. And he knows without knowing the scriptural basis of it that there's something murderous on the inside of these people and that it will be heavier on folks that have a lot of guns. And they're going to go at each other. And, and again, that's just more validation, more warning for us. We need to let them fight. Revelation 18:4, and come on up out of the way. So brothers and sisters, that's the message. Again, I'm not going to hold you up long on these because there's really not a whole lot more to say about what it is we're seeing and, what's going on here. But again, as always, I love you. Your brother DL, I'm out. Shalom.